What's good, VGC Nation? It's your boy Flo back with another episode of the draft battle, the draft league. I believe this was week 3, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and kind of explain to y'all what I was going on and why I brought what I brought. You can see my opponent's team is listed right next to what I got going on. They have the Corviknight, they drafted the Great Tusk, they drafted Mew, who is an extreme threat. They drafted Inteleon, and then they drafted Rotom, Quillfish, Hazurian form, Houndoom, and Ursaring. Okay, so my thought process when I brought this team, right, is first off, we have to handle the big shoe in the room, and that's the big threat, who is Great Tusk. We all know it. We all have seen it, right? Most used Pokemon in OU right now. So why I brought Talonflame was specifically for Great Tusk. Why his EVs are spread out the way it is, well, that's simply so he can handle things like knockoff from him, put a little boost in special attack, because Great Tusk does not take special attacks very lightly. Air slash with a flinch could ruin somebody's day with Talonflame. Flame body, just in case he's the rapid spin knockoff. Herlong rush or earthquake sometimes with the like Flame body is very necessary, right? Because not a lot of Great Tusk run Stone Edge, especially not in this current meta. Not a lot of people are open-minded to doing that, especially with Corviknight running around. In which my opponent has Corviknight, so they actually might bring it. But I'm really doubting that. I might scout out for it with Dundozo if need be, because Dundozo will always be my tank who can clutch up in a crisis against physical attackers. But yeah, anyway, Talonflame is going to be the counter for him, and as long as Talonflame is there, he can potentially get a burn. And once he gets a burn, I no longer have to use Talonflame in this game, because after that, he's utterly like kind of useless to me. His whole purpose is for Great Tusk, which I believe that's who they're gonna bring, right? Next up is Goldingo. Okay, so Specs Goldingo is really because of Mew. Really the main target for Specs Goldingo is Mew. I don't feel like they're gonna bring Ursaring into this fight, so I'm running Specs Goldingo, especially with Trick, just in case Mew is some setup variant. I'm gonna be running Dazzling Gleam for the backup for Great Tusk. I mean, not Great Tusk, for like Houndoom and the Quillfish. Just hit them a little harder than what I do, right? Make it rain, so I'm dominating whatever comes in easily. And Shadow Ball, of course, the signature move for Goldingo. Well, Make It Rain is signature, but Shadow Ball is like necessary. Sometimes you can run Hex, but anyways. Florges. Okay, so I'm running Scarf Florges here, right? Scarf Florges because I need to outspeed Mew, and this is probably going to be my lead off mon, right? And I'm going to lead off with this, expecting the Mew to come into the fight and automatically either try to set up screens or try to set up like D-Dance, Swords Dance, Calm Mind, just some trickery, because you never know what a Mew can do. And that's really the main focus with this team. We're worried about Mew, okay? That's why Trick here, and that's why Wish is in the backup, just in case I do want to run that Trick. I can Wish up, get somebody else healed like Dundozo, Clodsire, and then we're back in the game, right? Dundozo, of course, he's legend. All physical attackers fear him. You set up D-Dancers, Sword Dancers, they can't fuck with him. So Dundozo is here to do what he do, and that's be Fat Joe. Clodsire is just he's just a great mod to have on the team, not gonna lie. That's why I chose him in this draft. So with him being able to control hazards, because my opponent doesn't really have many hazard removals other than the Corviknight, and really Goldingo is what's gonna prevent him from getting rid of those hazards, right? So I'm gonna run Stealth Rock and Spikes. That way, whenever that Rotom comes in, I get a either or. Either Spikes up. If Stealth Rocks aren't there, I get up Spikes. If Stealth Rocks are there, I get up Spikes. If Stealth Rocks aren't there, I get up Stealth Rocks. It's just simple as that. Make it easy. And Corviknight can never get rid of them, because Goldingo will always be there. And every time Goldingo comes in on a Corviknight, it damn near gets a KO, right? It damn near gets a KO. And then last but not least, we got low kicks. I like my low kicks bandit because it hits so much harder when it's bandit. I know there's a lot of setup variants, but I never find the opportunity to set up with him in this draft or just in any meta. Really, it's really hard to draft up with this Pokemon because it's very frail. His stats aren't the best as far as defensive, especially special defense. Oh my god, that's atrocious. But y'all know what I mean. Come in, get a first impression on something like the Mew, tinted lens. You can get a little extra chip damage on the Corviknight or whatnot, and brick break just in case they run the dual screens, and shit, U-turn to pivot out. That way I can get a switch in on something like my Florges and whatnot. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get to the battle for y'all. All right, so first I lead off with Floor, just like I said I would. That's gonna be my lead off, and he leads off with Mew. Predicted. What did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all my opponent was gonna do? Right, they're gonna lead off with Mew, and there's gonna be some trickery afoot. From there, I go straight for the trick because that was the game plan from the first intentions. Turns out it's a dual screens Mew. That just set me up for greatness at that point. I'm like, Florges, you're beautiful. I love you. Okay. From there, my opponent switches to Houndoom because Houndoom actually dominates my team. I switch out in the low kicks after I had already pre-switched out the low kicks after I got my my scarf off because I'm not staying in against this Mew. Mew was stuck with light screen, and now he brought out Houndoom, and I can pretty much go for the first impression. First impression, demolish him. Look at that big boy damage. Oh my god, man, y'all can't tell me low kicks ain't the fucking MVP. So like I said, like the game plan that I said, every time that Great Tusk comes in, I bring in Talonflame, and I'm pretty sure that I baited out the he went for Ice Spinner and get the burn. Oh, Talonflame, look. My logic is working, y'all. My logic is here. The strat is all there. Y'all heard me pre-game explain what the fuck was going on, and yes, sir, it's coming into fruition. God damn it, beautiful. Now, now that I know that he's Ice Spinner instead of Stone Edge, I can just go for an Air Slash. I can go for a Defog, but I decided to go for U-turn after that burn because clearly nobody wants to stay in at that point. They're already tilted, clearly tilted. So I go back in the low kicks, get another momentum U-turn, and he brings out he stays in with Quillfish. Went for Fell Sting. I guess he was trying to see if I would stay in and go for the first impression and that it wouldn't KO. But I'm just gonna start getting on my I didn't get on my rocks here. Wow. I went for the Earthquake. I think I went for the Earthquake predicting him to stay in with the Quillfish, to be honest. I really think that's what it was. I Terra. So look, I really Terra because there's nothing else he could do other than with this Inteleon, right? And as far as beating me, because this is sashed, this is fucking burn, and Rotom does nothing to Clodsire as long as he's pure poison type. That's why I left him at poison with Black Sludge instead of running him like dark for store power opponents, things like that. That's usually what I run in my Clods. But anyway, at this point, none of his Pokemon can just demolish me, right? Clodsire is here to stay, and Clodsire gets a kill. Clodsire gets a KO. The fat turd gets a KO this game. Like, come on now. So every time Great Tusk comes in, I bring in my Talonflame at this point. We know clearly he's not Stone Edge, he's Ice Spinner, and we also know that we wreck him in every way every time he comes in. I go for the Air Slash here, trying to predict that he's just giving up because clearly I just came prepared. I don't think my opponent came as prepared as I was in this battle. And let's see what I go for. I'm pretty sure I go for the Stiff Rocks here, but let's see. So look, I didn't go for the Stiff Rocks. I just switched out to Clodsire basically to take the Rotom's Volt Switch. He Terra Rotom here, I guess, to get as much damage as he could, because I have no ground types, so that made logical sense. But here I'm pretty sure I switch out because you never stay in against a Great Tusk with a Clodsire ever, ever, ever. Like no matter what the situation is, even burned, it's like no. So here, this is where I'm pretty sure the wish comes in. Well, I kind of just moonblast, but I'm pretty sure at this point I still have the wish in the backup line that's gonna benefit me in the long run. I really didn't need to use Dondozo at this point anymore. I just started spamming Moonblast actually, because what can take the Moonblast? I go for Wish, you know, kind of giving myself a cushion just in case. So he brought out the Quillfish, right? And I honestly thought I could KO this Quillfish, but I'm pretty sure I switch here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I switched here and then decided to get up some rocks or something, or just straight up take him out. I think I recover first. Let's see. He switches back out in the Mew. I'm pretty sure I go for Earthquake instead. Yeah, Earthquake. I think at this point I switch out into Goldingo. Yeah, and at this point it's game. So I went for Earthquake. I didn't even worry about hazards no more because like he didn't bring what I wanted him to bring specifically, but he brought the Mew. His Mew wasn't a threat anymore when I got the choice scarf off, right? So I mean, really, hazards wasn't that big deep to me, I guess, and I just really wanted to get this game over with. So I switched out into Goldingo and just started spamming Shadow Ball. Or I didn't. I switched back out in the Mew. I guess I was just being an asshole at this point because he brought a Mew with Earthquake. He brought a Mew with Earthquake and that shook me, right? So I was like, yo, that's wild. I go for the U-turn predicting the Rotom or Tusk to come in, and at this point, low kicks. He cleans up shop. How many KOs? That's two KOs. Watch this now. Low kicks is nothing to play with. Clodsire, bringing Clodsire, liquidation, water absorb. Always run water absorb on your Clodsire, right? That is the best counter to a lot of these special attacking mons in OU meta right now, especially Walking Wake. Walking Wake can do nothing with a Clodsire with water absorb on your team. Nothing. At this point, I'm getting my hazards to guarantee that Great Tusk will die, and that Mew is at the lowest amount of health possible, because clearly this Mew is just random setup. Like EQ, you chose EQ over like Psychic Fang, or some good shit like that. Mew over Psychic Fang is, I mean, Earthquake over Psychic Fang is kind of crazy, but I could see it because my opponent is kind of threatened by it. Well, I'm threatened by it, not my opponent. Anyways, Great Tusk comes in, gets KO'd by the hazards, and then Mew is so whittled down that it didn't matter what he went for at this point. Or did he die? Nah, he got whittled down. I really wanted to stay on Clodsire here, but I wasn't gonna do that. I wanted my Fat Joe to get a fucking chance to get a KO, and that's what I did. Dondozo comes in to clutch up this game, right? He comes in to clutch up this game. We're not gonna waste no time with no body press, so we're not gonna waste no time with no setup curse. We're just gonna finish the job, okay? And that was week 3 of the draft league, and I appreciate what y'all watching. If y'all stayed this long, leave a like, leave a follow, subscribe, and with that being said, BGC out.